Hello everyone, thanks for tuning back into 20 Names. I upload a new name list every Friday, and today I have a name list inspired by Game of Thrones' House Targaryen in celebration of the production of House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is based on the character Daenerys' ancestors and history surrounding the Valyrian Empire. If you are interested in hearing all the details surrounding Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, I would recommend you go over to my favorite Game of Thrones YouTuber, Grey Area. She has so many videos on history and symbology and theories of the show and the books. I will leave her linked below. Now, to get started on this name list, the first name that I have for you is a rather obvious one, Valyria. Now, this is a name that's common in our world, but in the Game of Thrones world, it is spelled with a Y, spelled V-A-L-Y-R-I-A. And this was once the capital of a great empire called the Valyrian Freehold, where dragons and their riders lived in union and were the ruling race of George R.R. Martin's fantasy world. The second name that I have for you is the name Volantis, spelled V-O-L-A-N-T-I-S, and this is the oldest and proudest of the 9 free cities of the Valyrian makeshift empire. So if you like the name Atlantis or Atlanta, you might like this name, Volantis. The next name I have for you is the name Myr, spelled M-Y-R, and this city, as well as Volantis, is referred to as a daughter of the Valyrian Empire, and this city is a magical waterfront city located in Nessos. The next name I have for you is the name Dracarys, spelled D-R-A-C-A-R-Y-S. And this means dragonfire in High Valyrian, Valyrian being the language and race of the Valyrian Empire. The next name I have for you is the word name Daria, spelled D-A with a line over it, R-I-A. And this means queen in High Valyrian, again one of the languages in the book. Similar to that name, I have the name Eranon, spelled E with a line over it, R-I-N-N-O-N. And this means victory in High Valyrian. The next name I have for you is the beautiful R name Rhaella, spelled R-H-A-E-L-L-A, and she was the mother of Daenerys Targaryen. Next, I have a beautiful name that means moon, and it is the name Jalan, spelled J-A-L-A-N, and this is the word in the phrase that Daenerys' love interest Khal Drogo uses when referring to her as the moon of his life, from the phrase Yer Jalan Athararyani. But if you want something a little more simplified, you can try pronouncing it Jalin or Jalin. Similar to that name, I have the name Vorsa, spelled V-O-R-S-A, and this would be the best word that Daenerys uses to translate Dracarys or Dragonfire into the Dothraki language. But it can just mean fire in their language. Either way, Vorsa is a strong and interesting name. The next name I have for you is a name that you possibly already know. It is the name Draco, spelled D-R-A-C-O. And Draco is the Latin word meaning dragon, Latin being the main language that Valyrian was based off of. Next, I have the name Rhaegal, spelled R-H-E-A-G-A-L. And Rhaegal is the name of Daenerys' underrated dragon named in honor of her eldest brother who died in the Targaryen Purge. Next, I have a beautiful long name for you. It is the name Obsidian, spelled O-B-S-I-D-I-A-N, referred to as dragonglass and frozen fire in the books. And in both worlds, this is a black volcanic glass or stone. And again, that is the name Obsidian. And the next name that I have for you can be pronounced different ways. It is the name Calor, spelled C-A-L-O-R, and this word name is Latin for heat, inspired by dragonfire, but the actual pronunciation would be Galor. Next, I have the Irish Gaelic name Cara, spelled C-A-E-R-A, and this means fiery red, again inspired by dragonfire. At number 15, I have the interesting, obscure name Somnia, spelled S-O-M-N-I-A, and this is Latin meaning dreams. In A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, dreams hold so much meaning and often come true. Daenerys learns how to birth her dragons through her dreams. that is why I chose the name Somnia. Next, I have a much more normal name inspired by House Targaryen, and it is the name Lilac, spelled Lilac. And this name was chosen because it was inspired by the Targaryens or Valyrian eye color, which is lilac. Next, I have another name inspired by dragons, and it is the name Volant, spelled Volant, and this word means fly in Latin. At number 18, I have the name Mhysa, spelled Mhysa, and this is what the freed slave population of Yunkai calls Daenerys when she frees them, and they express their gratitude by calling her Mhysa, which means mother in their language. The next name I have for you is Rhaenys, after Rhaenys Targaryen, spelled Rhaenys, and she assisted in Aegon's conquest for the conquest of Westeros. This name could be something to consider if you already like the name Rain or Rhaena. And the final name that I have for you is inspired by Khaleesi herself, Daenerys, and when viewership for the show was at an all-time high, lots of people were naming their babies both Khaleesi and Daenerys, but I have an alternate version if you love those names. The name is Khaleesia, spelled Khaleesia. And this is just a variation of the name Khaleesi that I made up for this list, Khaleesia. So that is all for my list inspired by Game of Thrones House Targaryen. I sometimes post updates about the upcoming prequel on my Instagram stories if you'd like to follow me on there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Friday.